Hi, everyone. I'm Aaron Masliansky, and I host a podcast called Inside the Skev, which is an exploration of the people of Skokie and Evanston, Illinois, with a global flavor. And I am very happy today to be here to interview Shlomit Nechama, who is an Israeli screenwriter and a script development executive. And she's worked on numerous TV programs and documentaries. And today we're going to talk about the film The Women's Balcony, which won the 2017 British Jewish Film Festival Best Screenplay Award. And it's a really interesting film. I watched it with my family this weekend, and there's a lot of really great acting. And one of the things that I find so funny is to see Itzik Cohn, who plays Aaron in the movie, and to think of him as Captain Gabi Ayub in Fauda. I mean, does that just is that so weird for you?
Yeah, I was before Captain Ayub. It's an evolution of Captain after it. Yeah.
No,
he's a great actor. He can do anything.
It's funny. He's funny in this film, and he's good. But, this is such a good film in terms of how it tells a story. It tells a story of, I think, from what I got out of it, the society of how it's changing within Israel between either you're secular or you're ultra-Orthodox. And I'm not in Israel, so I don't see it. But is that what you were trying to get across with this film?
Yes. Actually, yes. I always feel that people are manipulated by political and at the places when religion and political come together. There's a lot of manipulation. So. From my own experience, I was religion all my childhood until I go to the army. And I always felt that there's someone between me and the religion that is wrong. Something, the way the religion is they get in the way, sorry, well, the way that someone wants me to think about the religion. It's not exactly how I see it when I don't have this middleman. And that was the reason that I left the religion, and many years after, when I when I think about it, I understood what it was and why I felt so not belong there.
Yeah. But you get, the sense I get from it is that the movie is not anti-religion. I mean, I think you see a group of people who are very into being Jewish and having their minyan, and unfortunately their shul falls apart. The balcony falls down. But they want to continue within their tradition, but they're trying to be manipulated to become more more extreme. But there's still, you could see the love for it and their community and everything in terms of wanting to be how they are. I mean, did you see that change within your own family as you grew up?
Actually, I did. It was like I felt we were living in Petah Tikva, in some city in Israel, and then we moved to Jerusalem, and my father connected to community that was more religion than we were at home, and he was very infected by that, and it changed all our life to be suited to this community. And I didn't understand, and it was just like just order. You should do that and that and that and that, and I didn't understand the big change. We were religion before. We have our way to do the our way in the religion, and I didn't understand it. And I remember it was a big shock for me, all the changing, and I was very. It was the most hard thing was that I didn't understand why to change it just because we have to be like others, like why can we keep it the way it was, the way his father was. So yes, and it was at the years that in Israel there was Shas, if you know this.
The political party?
Yeah, the political party was gets very strong in Jerusalem, and I remember as a kid that I see the political on it. I saw it like I didn't know. I think it was the first time that I was tried to I had that about my father, and actually a few years after it, he took a step back, but it was too late for me.
Yeah, I mean, for you, I mean, if you're not at all, are you completely secular now?
Yeah, but at the last years, I live in peace with religion. I feel like I love the religion. I'm. You always feel when you feel like an immigrant when you live when you live the, even if you it's not your life. I make myself a new life after I left home and I left the religion, and you always feel like a failure, a little bit like you didn't succeed uh, uh, at the place that you belong to. And I think the movie solved it for me. Like I now live in peace with the religion. I love the religion. I love my childhood as a religion person. I love. Uh, it's wonderful things, and now it's like I'm in a good place with it. I'm not fighting with it anymore.
Yeah, you were able to come to your own terms with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's interesting. I want to ask more about the film, but to say that you left it and everything. I mean, but you're living in Israel. You're an Israeli,
Mm-hmm.
and it's, everything is imbued with Judaism, as opposed to if you go off the derech in America, it's a little different. There everything is revolving around, even Yom Kippur or Tisha B'Av or Yom Ha'atzmaut, or all these things are all considered Jewish. So you're still imbued in all the time, but it's interesting to see the dichotomy of the society within Israel. I mean, to get to today and what's going on, and you have a lot of areas with high concentrations of people who've gotten COVID, and it happened in a lot of places where it was within the ultra-Orthodox community. And it's, from what I can read and see from here in America, it seems like there was a lot of pressure on the Haredim to to not meet and do everything. Has there been a sense of frustration within the Israeli society about, people continuing to meet until, later on as things went on with the pandemic because of like minyan?
Um, I have to ask you to ask me this in Hebrew because I didn't understand the
Oh.
question
Um,
properly.
Let me try
I'm
to think of how to
sorry.
say it in Hebrew. אני רואה מאמריקה ש...
Yeah, I understood. I just the last three sentence. You're speaking about um, um, uh, sorry.
Let's move on. So in the
Sorry.
film, did anything, was this all, did any of these things actually happen? Like a balcony collapsing? How did you come up with that?
This is the part. This is, I think, it's the part, the only part that wasn't at that was that I make up.
Yeah.
I want to take this woman to a place that they have to. They have a very quiet life. They live with their husbands, and they doing and the community are very warm, and everything is very quiet. I have to bring something huge to her life, to make them, because they're not a feminist woman and they're not deal with this kind of situation. It's far from their life. So I have to bring something really shocking to make them get out of this quiet life they had.
You had to shatter it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, this was the idea. But the one of the things that I mostly remember from Senegal, it was the difference between the woman's place and the man's place. It's something that every time I've been to the Senegal, I was looking down to. I have a twin brother, so he was there in the big space, and my father was taking under the talit, and I was jealous.
Yeah.
And he was and we're standing up there in very small place, and it's hot, and it's always this was something that I remember very well. So I am let it fall.
Yeah. It was beautiful though how it symbolized how they worked to get it back up though, and it really did change their lives, and it created that conflict that you needed. And it's interesting how everybody grew, the characters grew throughout the film. You had, I'm not sure, by the way, why I'm not showing up on here, but you have like the kid, the bar mitzvah boy, who was so felt so guilty because he davened that something would happen so he wouldn't have to lane. And you have just the men trying to figure out how to deal with the conflict that they, between their wives and this rabbi. And you could see it going multiple ways. And but they really grew together as a community. And do you feel like Israeli society accepted the film, or was there a lot of pushback against it?
No, the Israeli take it very well, especially the religion, but not the Haredim. They took it very well. It was a surprise for me. But but what you said before, I want to make a situation that everyone they are looking for a reason. When they had this traumatic event, everybody look for a reason, and this was why the rabbi succeeded to make them think that they are the guilt is the woman, and only my Etty, the lead character, thought just it happened like this because the people who built this synagogue didn't do a good job. This is it. Sometimes it just, this is it. It could happen anywhere. So this was something that I want to say. You can, you don't need to the fact that it was that it happened at holy place doesn't mean there's only reason for this.
Right.
So yeah, and the bar mitzvah kid is a good is represent something else in this guilt feel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's a movie that you could watch a couple times and you could pick up on a lot more, because I love how you have, or at the beginning of the movie, the rabbi says, "Oh, you know, when are you going to fix this window?" And oh, I'll get to it, and then this happens. Or, you know, I love how you know, with the niece, when she has the tag on her dress, and then the man who she eventually marries has the tag on his suit. And yeah, I could just see these things happening and how they're put together. But one thing that I really, really love, I thought it was funny, was the blind date that she goes on towards the beginning of the movie. And he's got note cards and going through that. Does that really happen?
Yes.
Really?
I had a research and it's really happened. Yeah. It's funnier than this. It's funnier and it's sad because it's at least like that no one can be the one for him.
Yeah.
But yes, they have lists. I saw it. I did research. There was a TV documentary about shidduchim in I saw a scene very close like this, only sad, more sad than this, because it was so it felt so technical and so so I took it to the funniest side.
Yes. No, it definitely was funny, but yeah, it's true. I mean, why do you think in more extreme societies of more right wing, I'd say, because it's not just Judaism, it's in many different religions and cultures. Why are women, from your perspective, looked at so differently or pushed to the back? Like I know symbolically, in the women having to be in the back of the shul, I think that's what you're trying to get across here, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think all the religion was very. It was signs of the times of the past, and at religion, it's very easy to um, to do it, and because you don't have a lot of choices. There's a leader, there's the rabbi, and we do what he said. And women as are not rabbis, so it's like I always say that in Israel, the Chavrei Knesset they are their salary. They are the people that decide what their salary will be. So of course they will give themselves a raise every 4 years. So it's the same here. There's not women that are rabbaniot. So of course they will be step at the side, but it's getting better. It's getting better. It's very slowly, and I wish it was like more. But it's getting better all the time. I'm very optimistic.
Yeah,
even
no, I
here
mean,
in Israel.
Well, women have been involved in the highest levels of government in Israel, Golda Meir, and just many people in Knesset. So it seems like a more progressive society in certain respects. There's a big dichotomy, but what you're doing here is you're telling a story. How did you decide to do this as a film, and how long have you been doing filmmaking?
Actually, it was my first movie. It was my first script. I was doing TV shows for children before this, and I had the idea, and I saw it as a movie. Like it was the best place for the idea. It was the movie. I love the movies, and I write it like I'm watching a movie. I always see the movie in my head. After when I get at the end, some professional helped me to make it a movie, because it was really like. Yes, I just felt this story has to be at the movies, so I wrote it as a movie. I learned how to write a script, by the way, when I wrote it, and now it's my professional.
You hit a home run for the first movie. My God.
Yeah, but it took me a lot of years of I was like cooking it for lots of years before I knew even that I'm gonna write a movie. So
yeah, are you making more movies now?
Actually, we took the characters from the movie, and we made a television series from them.
Oh,
yeah, like a year after. We already shoot it, and it's gonna be in the next winter on TV.
wow.
I hope that will be. It's now it's the step that you are, the worry step. So this is what I did the last 2 years, and I write another movie now, but it's very different.
Will the Well, what is the next movie? How?
Well, it's not so different because again, I'm dealing with women and feminism, but they're not religion. There's about a hairdresser, uh, and she's a kind of a feminist too. Yes, actually.
Have you, you have a lot of, obviously, about feminism. Have you encountered people like the Rabbi David, David in the movie? And, do you, towards the end of the film, he goes into a shul again. Do you think that he kind of realizes where he made an error in how he dealt with things? Is that like, what is your thought on that character?
Well, he was the most problematic character to write for me because I have to love my characters, and I couldn't love him for a long time. For two or three drafts that I made, I actually at the end I understood him. I understood that he is really believe in what he's doing. This was the way for me to connect with him. He really believed that he was there at the right time just to save this community. And I always I think about him, I thought about him, that in a few years he will understand that he made a mistake, but he just too young, and he see the world a little different, and he was in a step of his life that he act this way, but he is not a bad man. He really believes that he's doing good. So this was my way to love him, to give him grace. But in the series that I work now, I didn't have a place for him. I didn't know how to keep him, because maybe because of this, I didn't want him to be the bad guy again. And if he's a good guy, I don't need him. So he left outside from the Syria, and I have a new bad guy. Because I don't believe he will do this thing again. I don't believe that. Maybe it's one time. It was one time. And I think that at the end, when he said to the guy that asked him to come to Romanian, I think it's kind of and I hope that he will do things different in this. He will get inside another community, but he will do it different. I think he learned something from the experience.
Do you think, you talked about how you think that he really truly believed in what he was doing. Do you think that he even believed he was stealing the money? Or do you think that he thought that he was doing the mitzvah?
He was doing the mitzvah. She said, Etty said about him, he doesn't suit us. This is the only problem. He have a different kind of you see life differently than them, and I think at the end, he was so close to get what he wants, and he didn't get it. And it's like it was in his hand, and at the last minute, it was taken from him. And this is why he act like he act. It was, but he's not a thief or something like that. He did it because he believed it. To
Right.
build this synagogue again, and the Sefer Torah will recover this, and of course, everything else here is told to the woman, but he do it in belief and not from.
Do you so in the new show that you're writing, you don't have him in there. First of all, what is the name of the new show, and where are we going to be able to see it if we're in America?
Oh, it will take a time. I'm just on the first draft. It's calling Jacqueline now, but I don't know. Maybe it will change. Jacqueline is the name of the leader of the character leader. But it will take time. And now, after the corona, we don't know if it will be movies again here, and
Yeah.
it will take time.
Yeah, I mean, how is Israel? You're there right now. I mean, how is Israel doing right now through Corona?
Well, we are kind of back to normal, with still with mask and still, but it's like the first steps of getting to the normal life.
Yeah.
I don't understand it yet. I don't understand how it's going to be, because it's changed. It changed a lot of things, especially in my world, in the movie and the televisions. But yeah, we are feeling like we start to get our life back again.
Yeah. Well, hopefully things will be changed in a positive way. I mean, today I was reading that one of the vaccines that they're working on seems to have a success. So hopefully we can all get that around the world soon.
Yeah.
Israeli film and media, it seems to have been growing in regard, popularity throughout the world over the past several years. Do you see that momentum continuing and being able to be global?
I hope, yes. I hope it will, sure.
Yeah, I hope so too. When you made this film, did you ever consider making it more of a drama rather than a comedy?
No, I was, because it was my first film, and because I want to get, I want to say something to a lot of people, and I felt like I have to rap it to I love funny and light movie. It's the kind of movie that I want to see. I didn't want it to make it heavy, because I feel that this is my way to say things, and the reason that people will listen to what I have to say. I don't feel that maybe in my, I don't know, after more after 10 movies, I will feel that I can just be
Any
I
way
don't
you
know.
want it?
No, because yeah, I think movies need to be a good time. I like to do good time to people. I think when you come into the movie and you forget your trouble and you just get into another people's story, you want to have it fun and light. And this is my way to push in my things that I want to say.
Yeah, you do it in a nice, easy way. Um, it's so incredible that this is your first film. I mean, do you have ambitions to direct and produce and things like that for your future?
I will direct my next movie.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I understood it's the same way. You start your way on the idea and you finish it at the premiere, because it's you never stop worried about. It's like I have a very strong connection with my characters, so I feel like I have to defend them all the way to the screen and to so yes, I now after this movie I feel like I can do it. I can direct also.
Yeah. No,
I hope.
we'll see.
Yes.
who are
Keep writing, leave the direction.
Yeah,
Keep writing.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, you must have had a lot of inspiration along the way. I mean, do you watch a lot of film in America, or is it Israeli film that you really primarily watch? And what are some of your favorites that are currently out there?
My favorite. Um, this the movie that I look up to when I wrote The Woman Balcony was an English movie. It's called Wake Up Ned. It's amazing movie.
Wake Up Ned.
But yeah, I don't. I'm not sure that is the name in English, but in Hebrew it's called Le'ayir et Ned. So I will look for it. And it's about a small English community that I took a lot of things from there, especially the way they lived. So this is something, it's a movie that I saw many times when I write the movie. What movies I like? I like an American movie. I like uh, uh, I like lots of movies.
Okay. You know, one thing I've been watching Fauda quite a bit, and I think in the American Jewish community, it's very, very popular.
Yeah.
Is it as popular in Israel?
Yeah, sure.
Is it the most famous
It's one
show
of
on
the.
TV?
It's one of the. Well, yeah, one of the most, and it's on cable, so it's even more amazing. It's not in the prime. It's, yeah, it's.
Are
So,
people the actors big stars now in Israel?
uh, there are no big stars in Israel.
No, it's not like that.
No, you can meet all the stars in the coffee shops and at the super. That's not. But yeah, it's. I'm sure they're very proud of that. I know the actors ancient to be at the next season.
Yeah, so am I. I'd love to see what happens next. My God, it's like you feel like you're going to have a heart attack when you're watching that show. That's a heavy show.
Yeah.
Yeah. But to your movie, though, I mean, you had a wide appeal. It's been around where you've gotten good response on it. Has has it mainly been the Jewish community that's watched it, or have people from other religions commented on it to you? You know, in terms of Christian, Muslim, atheist, whatever it may be.
When I wrote it, or people just come to see it?
Now that they've seen it, like, what is the? Have
Um,
you heard from people of other cultures?
I had in one a show at Manhattan that was open. It was in movie theater, and I did the Q&A there, and there was the first time that it wasn't a Jewish a community, and it's work amazing. Some guy tell me that he saw the movie and it's remind him of Trump, of Donald Trump, because like the rabbi, he want to take the soul from the community. Trump is taking the soul from the American people or something like that. I was shocked. So he said,
I didn't tie
yeah,
the two together, but okay. Yeah.
yeah. But I didn't have, I think it was most the Jewish community. I've been to in a few festivals, and it was so exciting. And you know that when I grew up, after the movie, I understood the pluralism of Judaism in Israel. It's so different than how you living and feeling it, and only after I've been in several of Jewish community in US, I understood it, and said how we are so, because again the political and the religion that's very close in Israel. We've only one way that accepted in Israel. When I grew up, to be anything less, anything out of there is not the Orthodox. Was my rabbi was spoken about it like it's worse than being non-religion at all, and I understood it just when I get to the Jewish community in the USA. How it's so strong here, and it's very sad. I hope this thing will change, but.
Well, I think it was probably, you know, it's interesting that you did it as a community that was from. I mean, they daven every day. I mean, they always had minyan. They had the shul. I mean, a Jewish community that was observant. But to show the difference between where they were versus the ultra Orthodox, I think was probably even more clear than if you did it as a secular community where they're trying to get them to become religious. What was the main, I mean, was that the main thing that you wanted to show with the film? Just, you know, to kind of come to terms with how you grew up and changed and how you felt?
Yeah, but there are like the community in my movie. There are no longer communities like this in Israel. They are disappearing, and this is one of the in Jerusalem. Now I'm back to Jerusalem. It was all the community were their own life, their own ways of doing things, and now they're all the same. There no middle way anymore. You feel like it's either you are ultra orthodox or you're non-religion, and this is something that I want to. I felt like I have to do the movie before it's disappear, before it's like it won't be there here in a few years. And actually, the neighborhood that the movie was about, it's called Shkunat Bukharim, that my grandparents who lived there, was a community that like the movie, and now it's an ultra Orthodox neighborhood, and lots of neighborhoods in Israel, in Jerusalem, are just don't exist anymore,
Yeah.
like they was. And yeah, I felt like it's end of period, this movie about, because I always look at my character and I remember that after they're the last one that live in this kind of life, because the children are not there, and a lot of time ask me, where is the children? There's no children at the movie, because they're not there. They can't they're go to live in new neighborhoods because they don't have anything to do there. So yes, there's
It's almost sterile. You know, I think that it's something that we've seen throughout the world in the past several years,
yeah, that's
where
true.
everyone is pushed to one side or the other, and
Yeah, that's true.
it's yeah, and it's sad. I mean, there's something about a middle ground where you can live within this medium, and you can have your traditions and cultures and be observant, but you know, not to one extreme or not to be to the other extreme.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's like a middle is weak. You
yeah,
can be middle by it can be the way of life. Middle, it's weak. Or you have to take a side, like and I believe in middle, and this community are community. They not they want to be at the middle as a way of life. It's not something that because they can't be more religion. This is the way they believe they want to live. So but you're right, it's everywhere. It's not only the religion. We are becoming like we have to choose a side in lots of things in life now.
yeah, for sure. Well, hopefully we can we can stay a little bit more middle grounded and be more comfortable where we are. Shalomit, it's been wonderful speaking with you. Where can people go to, you know, check to follow what you're doing so they can find out when the new show's coming out and promote anything that you have new coming up?
I will inform you.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't know where to send you because I don't know when things will happen. You know, it's a process, and you never know when it will end until it's ending.
Right.
So I hope you will hear about it somehow, but I will inform you too.
Okay. Well, thank you. And thank you everybody for joining us today. It was a pleasure to speak with you, and you know, very cool, by the way, to speak with you from across the world. So
Yeah.
it's a small world now, but thank you everyone for joining us today, and we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.